Hello and welcome to Jurassic Reviews. On this episode, we'll be taking a look at the third King of the Monsters figure from NECA. That figure is the Rodan 2019. Before we begin, here's a quick look at the box it comes in. Here's the front of the box. Here's the sides of the box. Here's the back of the box. And here's the inside of the box. This Rodan sports a huge 13-inch wingspan and is about 4 inches long from head to tail. One quick thing about this sculpt that I want to get out of the way real quick is that it comes with two different heads, one with a closed mouth and one with an open mouth. I'm not sure why this was done. Maybe there was an issue because the heads are so small and having articulation at the jaw would have been difficult. I don't know. But this isn't a big deal for me, and I'm glad that NECA still gave us an option of displaying him with an open or a closed mouth. The sculpt as a whole looks pretty spot on to me. The wings in particular are an obvious highlight of this figure. I love Rodan's new design, and this sculpt captures the look of the film version really well. The magma-like scales on its wings look awesome. He truly looks like a monster that sleeps inside of a volcano. The details on the chest and legs are also really cool. You can see the armor-looking scales and little spikes that stick out from them. One of my favorite parts is on the back, where the scales there almost look like feathers. It's really neat looking. Other details include the fingers on the wings, which are really narrow, and if I had to guess, wouldn't be too hard to break. Actually, just in general, this figure seems really fragile, and I've seen people online with broken wings, so be careful with this guy. Looking at the two different heads, I think they are both great. The closed mouth head specifically really looks like what we saw in the film. I think it was right after he broke out of the volcano there was a shot that zoomed in on his face, and the sculpt on this figure looks dead on to that. The open mouth head looks good too. I'm having trouble deciding how I want to display him. So overall, this sculpt is my favorite of the three NECA King of the Monsters figures so far. They did a great job on it. Moving on to the paint, it is also pretty well done. The majority of this figure is a dark gray with lighter gray highlights. There's also some underlying orange paint that really takes over around the back edges of the wings. Rodan's wings were basically on fire throughout the whole movie, and this orange paint does a good job representing that. Interestingly, there doesn't seem to be any red paint on this figure at all. It all just looks more orange to me. Other Rodan figures out there, including the upcoming Monster Arts version, have Rodan painted with a lot of red, and I'm pretty sure he was that color in the film, or at least had some red to him. Maybe it'll look a little more red in this video, but in person it definitely looks orange. Despite this though, he still looks cool, and I look forward to comparing this one with the Monster Arts version later this year. There is one odd thing that I don't really like on the wings paint-wise, and that's the random little yellow dots found throughout it. I get what they were going for, but I think this figure would have been fine without them. Looking at the heads, they both have the gray and orange paint, but they also have tiny little white eyes with black pupils. Before I move on to the articulation, I want to talk about the base that comes with this figure, which is amazing. The base is at the top of Outpost 56 that Rodan breaks out from in the film, and even includes an explosion piece. The base itself has awesome little details on it. I was really surprised by how large this piece was when I took it out of the box. It makes the one that came with Mothra look tiny. All the paint here is really well done too. I really like how the explosion piece looks. Doing something creative with the base instead of just a clear stand is one of the coolest things NECA has done with this line, and I hope they continue trying different things like this in the future. The only downside I'm having with this one is that the support rod does not want to stay straight. Moving on to the articulation, there's an okay amount here. The head is on a ball joint, and swapping the different heads is pretty easy. There's also one other point of articulation around the neck. Both legs can move, though only a little bit. And each wing has 2 points of articulation. The part of the wing closer to the body can go up and down, and the outer wing can fold in and out. It's actually this part of the figure that I've seen people have issues with. So again, be careful with it. Before I give my rating for this figure, here's a comparison with other figures. Here it is with the NECA Godzilla 2019. Here it is with the NECA Mothra 2019. Here it is with the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2019. And finally, here he is with a few of my other Rodan figures. For a rating out of 10, I give this one an 8.5. It's my favorite of the 3 NECA King of the Monsters figures so far. The sculpt is solid, and the paint is pretty good too. It's just a little odd that there's no red to it, and the little yellow dots seem unnecessary. The base that is included with this figure is fantastic, and he looks awesome displayed on it. I recommend picking this one up. And that does it for the NECA Rodan 2019. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe. I'll have reviews on any new NECA or Monster Arts figures that get released. Thanks for watching and see you next time.